It's
We're recording.
that type of fence, so it just be.
We're recording.
Gosh.
Notice is hereby given a regular meeting of the Galveston County Consolidated Drainage District, August 29th, 2023. This is a special meeting. Sorry. Let me start over. Notice is hereby given of a special meeting of Galveston County Consolidated Drainage District on August 29th, 2023. At the district's office located at 1605 Whitaker Drive, Fresno, Texas. Call meeting to order. Invocation, pledge. Father, thank you for this time together with you and one another. Throughout this meeting, let our words be your words, our actions be your actions, our thoughts be your thoughts. And let us be mindful of the will of the citizens to improve drainage and reduce flooding in Christ's name, I pray. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 4, citizens' comments. Members of the public are invited to give comments at this time lasting no longer than 3 minutes. Anybody would like to address the board?
Can I mention something?
Yes.
About the last meeting, there was a little bit of confusion and, I think we get from them about that. And I think you probably got it straightened out by
We
now.
came out and redid it just to make everybody happy, but we checked the minutes and we're good, but go ahead.
But yeah, there is a difference between the drainage district and the school district. I think their calendars, they get involved in goals and pendings and compression and exemptions and all sorts of things that don't really apply here at the drainage district. Y'all are more like the city than you are the school district, but for years and years and years, there was a political impetus to keep for some reason, to keep the drainage district tied to school district because it helps explain why the school district has to have their own tax office. I mean, they could save a lot of money by using the same taxing office that the city does, but we've never been able to get past that. But that's one of the things you might want to look at sometime is because I don't think anybody here was part of the political agenda to keep the school district tied to the drainage districts. You all might want to look and see if what
I was.
you were part of that. Oh, okay. Well, I stand corrected. I think it would be a good idea for you to look at some point in time, what tax office, would better serve the drainage district. And I hear there was somebody managed to get the school district to agree to collect taxes for y'all for nothing. Well, that doesn't seem right to me. I mean, taking funds away from the children to do tax collections for the drainage district. There's something wrong with that. But anyway, that was
Nothing to do with who you're married to either, does it?
well, I Cheryl doesn't really care.
I understand that. It's just a perception, Don.
But
All right. Is that it?
the only reason I'm saying that stuff is because I do hear about all this stuff and I do know more about the details of it than a lot of people do. So, and y'all are free to do whatever you want. Cheryl doesn't need one more entity to collect for, but it would behoove the citizens of Friendswood and it would lower costs for the school district if all that mess was to go over to the county and be collected there. I just had to say it. I had to say it.
Jason, you want to say anything?
I just didn't want y'all to be alone. So I showed up.
All right, discussion action items. A, review and take action on the 2023-2024 tax rate. Go ahead, Scott. You got something to read from Roughly.
I have a letter from Director Burkett. Taxpaying citizens, Kathy Joseph Scott, and my fellow board members. I would like to propose a timeline to adopt the tax rate for the GCCDD. In and give my recommendations. I apologize for missing this special meeting. I've maintained perfect attendance for 15 months at the GCCDD for all regular and special meetings. However, my current circumstances call for me to attend to business out of state that I have long put off. I'm scheduled to miss my first regular meeting ever on September 12th. I did my best to limit my absences and could not have accounted for a special meeting called beforehand, nor could any board member. I would like to propose the tax rate adopted at this special meeting be 11.76 cents. I believe I read that right. Yes, 0.1176. 0.1176. So, at this time, from the information I've received from the Galveston County Tax Collector and GCAD, that would be a zero increase to median home value in our district year over year. When I mean I will support a zero increase this year and that only, I literally mean zero. I propose we publish in the paper the rate we are proposing after this meeting to meet obligations. The rate we propose must be in the paper 7 days before formally adopting it by a vote by the GCCDD board. I would like to the tax adoption vote to be on September 26th at our regular scheduled meeting, so I will be present. This will meet any deadlines for the Texas Water District to set the tax rate. There is no need to hurry through this, as we may indeed attain more info from GCAD and advice from our tax collector on valuations as the months move forward. It is prudent, in my opinion, to gather as much information as possible over time to make an informed vote for our tax-paying citizens that fund this district. There is no hurt in gathering all information and no hurry as long as deadlines are met. I believe this is a very reasonable request for such a responsible and well-attended board member. Respectfully, Rusty Burkett III.
Any other discussion?
Don't we? You said adopted on the September the 29th,
Did I say the 29th?
26.
26th.
Second meeting of September.
That doesn't leave 7 days.
We just have,
Publish it after this meeting.
we have to have it posted 7 days before we adopt it.
Okay, so we make a proposal to the public at this meeting and gather public input at the next meeting, which you'll miss. And we could accomplish your schedule.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because normally how we've done it in the past, go through it, and after it's published in the paper for 7 days before it's adopted, we adopt or approve the budget first, then establish the tax rate and vote on that. And before all of that, we have a public hearing right before the regular meeting.
Are we following the normal timeline in which these events?
Yeah, as long as it's approved by the end of September.
Okay.
Basically, we'll come up with the tax rate today. Public will have time to comment on it at our next meeting before we vote on what it is. We'll put it in the paper in the meantime. So that's the process. We're on track. You know, I appreciate Russ. I think he got the number wrong though.
Yeah.
And I spent some time with Robin yesterday. And our revenue last year was 6,243,207. And I'd like us to use 0.0011862, which gives us 6,243,185, which accomplishes what he said. And it lowers our tax rate by a penny, right? By a penny. That's what I would like to discuss doing, and it actually be $21.64 less revenue than the year before. Rusty's number is close, but it's 53,707 less revenue based on our budget. Looks like we're going to be 4 million in arrears. Maybe we'll get a lot of rain. We won't be able to get all the projects done, but I'd like to move forward with that tax rate and with our budget and finish up the things we started. That's
So you're proposing 0.1186?
0.11862. And I spent a good amount of time yesterday, even though they were off, with Robin, which was a feature I appreciate from the tax office. After hours too. Okay, so I give them kudos. Discussion.
I'd like to make a conceptual motion. And that is that this coming year's, or this year's tax rate be net zero to the district. And currently, we figure that to be 0.11862 to be modified September the 26th as new data comes available.
I'll
Agreed.
second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Joseph, do we need to go into executive session?
No, sir.
All righty. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So that'd be adopted.
We basically announced it'll be adopted on the 26th unless we get data that shows different, but
And what we'll do on the 26th, we'll go in with a public hearing. Then we'll have the budget and then to establish the tax rate. Do that all.